Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video. Okay, as we usually do, let's try to take a look at the euro currency, what has happened on the previous week, and let's discuss what we could do in Monday, what levels to watch for, what particular to expect from the price development in the beginning of the next week. Well, step by step, euro currency gives us some clarification, and I strongly recommend you to read the weekly analysis, because a weekly chart contains in fact the dominant and the major foundation for the trading on the coming week, since it has the patterns that points on the potential downward development. And by red circle on the daily time frame, I have marked their invalidation highs. So that's in fact the bearish stop grabber on the weekly time frame. That's the top of the bearish engulfing pattern on the same weekly time frame. And that is actually our working swing for the beginning of the week. Now what we see has happened on the market. Market has shown the significant plunge. We have discussed it on Thursday as well. Taking out of these lows, taking out and washing of these lows. And now it has hit the support areas 129.35. We said that market will continue to move. That probably the next area where it will stop. That is the major 618 support of that whole swing to the upside. Well, in fact, to possess ourselves on the short side of the market, we need to get some rally from the market to sell into. But on the daily time frame, it's very difficult to predict where this move up could start. It could start as from this area, since this is support as well, or market could proceed slightly lower. As you can see, this is a significant cluster of support, that is daily oversold, and two different support ones, that is the monthly pivot support one, this lime line, and this green line is the weekly pivot support one for the coming week. Also, what is interesting, you can see that pivot points coincide as well for the coming week. Weekly pivot point and monthly pivot point. And that area is around 130.40 area. So on daily time frame, unfortunately, I can say whether market will start bounce from this area, or it will continue to move lower and start move from lower level. But I have some ideas that I would like to discuss with you. Well, but before we start to discuss these moments, also take into consideration that the 127 extension of that swing, that's by the way the butterfly that Lolly shows in our forum, 127 extension of that swing stands also in this area, and the 1618 extension of that pattern A, B, C top stands also very close to this area. So that will be a really significant support cluster, and I suspect that market will definitely show the bounce from this area, just as the even minor respect of this level, because this will be a really significant support cluster. I do not want to tell that that will stop the market from the further development to the downside, but the fact that market will show some at least minor bounce is very probable. Now let's shift to the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, we see a couple of moments that's interesting. First of all, trend has turned bearish here as well on the daily time frame. Take a look how market has reached this area. That is, by the way, almost 127 extension of that pattern A, B, C, top. Market accelerates directly from the 100% extension. In fact, without no retracements, continue move to the 127. When market shows such significant moves by the just single leg without any noticeable retracement, this tells about the significant momentum. And as a rule, in most cases, market usually proceeds to the 1618 level after some bounce up, after some retracement up. And again, very often that retracement takes either 50% or 618 from the most recent swing. Right here. Okay? That let us a bit clarify overall expectation. As we said on the daily, it's difficult to predict where the bounce up will start, but this development points on the possibility that bounce will happen twice. First one is from this area, second one is from that area, mostly because this is the significant target and in general very strong support area. So as we know that euro currency likes to show 50% retracement, then we should focus on this potential move up. And the second moment that I would like to discuss here is how this retracement could happen. Unfortunately, this time frame can't tell us what level this bounce up could reach, but how it will happen, here we could see. Take a look that this thrust down is suitable for the Napoli directional pattern. That could be either bread and butter sell, or that could be double repo buy. And probably we should be focused on either first or second patterns. Both of them could trigger the retracement to the upside. Well, if we take into consideration this momentum down and the potential of reaching of this 1618 extension, that will be, by the way, the closing the minimum target, the closest target for entry, if we'll take an entry of this retracement. If we'll take into consideration this momentum, then I probably bet on the bread and butter, because in fact bread and butter is the continuation pattern, and here market hasn't quite reached the major target, it's extended ultimate 1618 target. No, it only has finished the first swing down. This is rather strong, this is strong momentum, and some downward continuation is very probable. That's why I mostly will expect the bread and butter sell. If it will really the case, that will let us to possess ourselves on the short side of the market somewhere from this area, with the minimum target is around 129.60 area. That is 1618 extension. Also, this potential bread and butter sell could be the possibility to possess on the longer term perspective, to open the position for the medium term weekly setup. If you will read the weekly analysis and weekly thread, you will understand what I am speaking about. But in this case, if you would like to open a short position for a longer time, you should place as well the 4-hour stops, because since that is the daily oversold, market probably could show a reasonable bounce up, and your stop should allow market to breathe, because when you possess yourself on the weekly time frame, you should give the possibility to the price to breathe with these swings. Okay, that's demand a bit farther stop. But if you would like to enter just with the 1618 extension target, well, you could act strictly with the Jordan Napoli pattern. Now, on the hourly time frame, it's also interesting moments. This chart let us to understand what level to watch for short entry. I suspect, and I personally will be focused on this level. That is 130.40, 130.55 area. Why? Because here you can see weekly pivot point of the coming week, the new weekly pivot point. That is also the monthly pivot point, if you remember. That is also the natural support resistance zone. So you can see that was support, market has tested it, tested again, support, broken it down, now it will be resistance. And finally, that is 50% resistance of this thrust down. So that's an area to watch for, where we could possess ourselves on the short side of the market. Probably that will be an area where the bread and butter sale could start, or if it will be the double repo, that will be the target of the double repo pattern, since the target of the double repo, the minimum target, is the 50% resistance of the thrust of the double repo pattern. Well, that will be absolutely natural and logical to suggest the retesting of this area. That will be absolutely perfect scenario if it will happen. So that's what I would like to discuss with you. In fact, something of that sort I expect in the beginning of the week. So fortunately we have got the nice bearish setup on the weekly time frame that gives us more confidence with the short entry. And in fact, the lower time frames we need only for estimating the right level to enter short. The minimum target of this potential move down will be around 128.60, 128.75 area, the major support cluster on the daily time frame. The potential area for watching the sell signals and short entry is around 130.40, 130.55 area.